on. There we are. Hey.
Hey, how's it going, Eric?
Good. Let's get that screen share thing squared away for here.
It's mouse over your picture. You'll see the icon.
Yeah, if I got it, I'll look at myself.
There you go. All right, you're in.
And then we'll pop here.
Perfect.
So
Excellent.
you can see. Can you confirm you see me in the
Yes.
screen?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, great. So yeah, my name is Eric Ayers. I'm the CEO of Goodseeker, former CMO turned lover of talent branding. I had the opportunity to run recruiting for a couple of years and learned so much from practitioners. The one thing I learned was that little micro moments and stories about the things people do to make an impact at work are exactly what candidates want to see. They're bombarded by information right now. So those really small stories about your brand are essentially gold. So what Goodseeker is think of it as a talent story net. It's a platform, it's SaaS, to easily collect employee-generated examples of the impactful things people do every day to support your values, your brand, your mission, your EVP. Think, Mad Libs meets storytelling for recruiting. Now, the content that the platform generates, to be clear, is incredibly valuable for both internal and external uses, and that's one of the unique things about the platform. So think onboarding employees to your values to get them going faster, which, oh, by the way, helps them and encourages them to make referrals faster when they feel connected. So internal benefits, some engagement benefits, and definitely recruiting personalized content to reach out to candidates. So what I want to do real quick, a couple quick concepts, walk through some key features, answer questions I know will come up in people's minds, and get that done in 10 minutes. So,
okay.
All right, yeah, so what you're looking at right now is kind of the platform. I'm going to click through a few things here. But conceptually lay the land here. So a company signs up, people join with work email addresses. They don't have to have a work email address for some companies where employees don't have emails. But once somebody joins, they become a user. Users have the ability to consume content and publish content, which I'll show you. One of the unique things is that a user can request a story from somebody as well as publish a story. There's the concept I'm going to show you of an author tagging something to be shared publicly. So authors can say, yes, I want my story to be shared publicly, and admins can do things like approve stories, of course. And then once you have content, recruiters can share it. So with that, let me click through a few things. This is a kind of interactive demo here, and I'm happy to share this link afterwards. So you're looking at a storyboard for a company called Stellar Stories. There's a user called Steven Starr, who actually in this case happens to be an admin as well. You'll see he can publish or request stories. But one of the most important things about the platform and our learning from talking to so many practitioners and leaders is that you can't just tell people share good content. You actually have to tell them what you're looking for. So with Goodseeker, you essentially launch campaigns to find examples of stories that exist inside your organization. So think I Spy or a treasure hunt for content. Campaigns have questions. It might be, seen any examples of our commitment to environmental stewardship, right? Whatever it may be. And in fact, that's one that I'll show you right here. So campaigns have landing pages, and from a landing page, or honestly, the link behind these buttons, somebody can request a story from somebody else. What's cool about this is we've learned, one of the challenges of generating employee content is giving them a reason to do it. One of the biggest reasons to do it is because hearing somebody cares. So if I'm a manager or a VP, all it takes is actually me saying, I heard about this, I would love to hear that story. In fact, the requester can even start the story for them by giving them a prompt. I'm going to submit a story because this is kind of the heart and soul of the product. So we've built second grade storytelling into employee content generation. So every campaign has a question. I pre-wrote a story here. You'll see you can tag people in the story. So there is an element of appreciation because Patrick, when I name him in the story and publish it, he actually gets a chance to add to the story as well. I'll add Patrick. Now I want you to think about that one of the challenges with employee content is people not knowing what to say. So what we discovered is you just have to show them words. So we'll capture things like, teams. Like who does the story relate to? What geographies? We'll add Melbourne and maybe the manufacturing team, finance teams involved with the story. The values that are associated with it, social responsibility, in this case, maybe some planning. You can add media. I can record a video. We can actually take this up to a 15-minute video, which we just moved forward. Or I can search for images. In this case, I'll look for solar panels because the story is actually about the company installing new solar panels. All right, so we'll add that to the story. It's all editable. This is kind of one of the cool parts here. So as a user, I do need to give it a title. We call this Energy Everywhere. But now I'm going to give permission to share the story. All right, this is key for recruiting. So we want to activate our employees, not only as storytellers, but use that content to help drive traffic to jobs.
Yes.
So people are bombarded with job ads, right? It's just look at Rally Recruitment Marketing and the data they put out there. People are tuning it out. So what we've done is said, let's embed the job in the story, and let's let the author add the job to the story. So that only makes sense if I'm giving this permission to share the story publicly. So as an author, I'll say, yeah, you can share it. We, the company, will present you with a call to action to add any jobs, maybe ones that are associated with your geography, to the story. So when the story becomes public, I'll show you in a second, it's going to be a landing page that anybody can use to spear candidates, particularly passive candidates. And one of the unique things is we'll have links to
a landing page on your site or the company site?
Anywhere you want. You drive them to your, we want this asset, this story that gets produced to drive people to where you, the customer, need them to go, your job board, whatever it may be. So that link that I just added, on the admin side, you upload your jobs. And you know, think of it, it has actually tremendous SEO benefits. But we're driving people to the places that already exist for you. We're not recreating job career pages or anything like that. So I'll publish it. So you have the option, the story is published. It can be shared internally, right? People can engage with it and say, this is a really strong example of social responsibility. Think of it like as a super like, but I'm gonna show you the approval process. So what happened is that story got published here, so users would see it. We have integrations with everything, so it can go into your intranet, Slack, Yammer, etc. You can even embed all this in your own internal website or our public website as well. So Stephen is an admin. So now you're seeing kind of the admin dashboard. You can see there's a lot here. Main thing is story pipeline. Author said, hey, it'd be great to share publicly. I make it public. This is a bonus feature, I would say. And you know, the last presenter mentioned this need, and it's so true, of getting, you can't hope that the good stuff bubbles up anymore, particularly with review sites. Yeah. So what we've done is say, look, when somebody's named in a story or they publish a story, they feel pretty good. It's human nature. So I, the company and the admin, am going to send them a thank you note. I can send that to the author, I can send it to everybody. And in the email that they get, you can embed links to share the story and to visit job boards. So, I'm sorry, not job, review sites. So say thank you for your story and then give them a compelling reason to now go leave a review without asking, actually, which is pretty neat. So that story is public. I'm gonna show you what a public story looks like. So there's like this internal and public version. So now let's say this story has a unique link. It can be shared with somebody on LinkedIn. It could be put in a newsletter. It could be anything. You can embed it anywhere. But when somebody lands on the page, you know, we now have this option where from the author's perspective, they have a little nugget that they said, and then we're encouraging people to visit jobs. Again, this call to action is completely customizable. You can send people anywhere. The last thing I will mention and show as a highlight are spotlights. So let's say as a company, we've run a bunch of campaigns, we have a bunch of content. I'm a recruiter and I'm talking to somebody who's on the fence. I know they value this. These are the really important things to them. So what if I could instantly create a bundled spotlight page of stories that are specifically related to them, save that page and send it to them to introduce them to the team. So that has applicability to, one, get a passive candidate to return their calls faster or reply. And even, with ghosting out there now, sometimes from the time when they accept the offer to the time they actually walk in the door, that's kind of a risky area. So it's a great way to kind of introduce the organization and the culture to somebody and get them excited to actually show up. So I can pick values. I can customize this page. We'll call it like, your page, I think is what I say. And then save it and customize it. And then you're done. And then that story gets basically saved. That spotlight page gets saved as my spotlight page, the person who created it. In this case, it might be a recruiter who's not only using this platform to perhaps contribute their own stories, but more importantly, using it as a library of content that they can go pull from.
Yeah. It's kind of like a company specific Facebook feed or something like that. It's all embeddable. We got iframe, RSS, embed. So we're not trying to replace websites, career pages, anything like that. We are the content collector and generator. We do some interesting stuff with the data, but we then want to enable you to use that and push it to places where you're already active. Yeah. Can you show us like one example of just a live example, maybe on like Twitter or somewhere that's in the wild?
Well, that's a good question. I wanted to pull up, but I needed to ask them.
Okay.
So I can tell you a story about, maybe post a screenshot back to this. So we have a customer, I can mention the name, Evans Consulting. So I love them. They're an early customer of ours. They're only a little over 100 employees. All right. So 100 employee companies generated over 650 employee success stories. At high levels of engagement amongst their team. And I venture to say they might never have to worry about recruiting again, because this content is highly relevant to the people who they're reaching out to. So I can give you a specific name and tell you what they've achieved with it. And you can look at our website and see some of the other customers.
Does it track engagements as far as just statistics on views, things like that?
Yeah, we're starting to. I mean, one of the things, I learned, you can't build it all into the platform, but the reporting piece is also in this, where not just who generated content and what themes, what departments, et cetera, but on the sharing part. So let's say the story is approved to be public and it's an asset that can be shared. And it's shared in the wild, it's pushed out. People engage with that story. They view the story and they actually click the links, like the job link that I added there. We're tracking all of that and we're tying it back to the author and the person who shared it. So there's a lot of data to drive some gamification aspects of this as well. So
awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Eric. Throw your contact info in the chat there, a link to your website. I think it's Goodseeker.com, right?
That's right.
Excellent. Good domain, by the way.
Thanks.
Was it hard to get?
Surprisingly, no, not at the time. It wasn't. We have badseeker.com as well.
That should be interesting. Yeah, that would be a good.
It's
the opposite of Goodseeker. Yeah.
It's locked away.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it again, Eric, and thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, that was good. I like that. Great employer branding tool. Companies need to do more stories themselves, and tools like that will be a good way to do it and create them.